Hey, deserving listeners, a lot of you have asked that I go back in time and watch Stephanie and Erika's story, so let's get to it. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor. This is 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days, Season 4. Let's watch the show.
Pizza, I love pizza, just about more than anything.
And I make a living making content for my YouTube channel.
Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey guys.
On my YouTube channel, I do videos about my life experiences. I do traveling videos, fashion videos. I just kind of like to dabble in a million different things. Guys, stop it. Stop doing that. That's so weird.
Hi, honey.
Oh,
hi, guys.
I'm filming a video right
Okay, so right from the start, I'm wondering if people are accused. I stay away from comments because I want to watch this clean without any influence, but I'm wondering if people are accusing her of only going on the show because she wants to enhance her influencer YouTube status. I don't know. There's, these kinds of accusations are hard to verify or hard to get any data because you'd have to go inside someone's head or they'd have to admit it or something like that. But, it does raise a question, I suppose. I also think that you can do both. You could be both interested in raising your internet profile and also find love on a reality TV show. I think that that's also true for a lot of these people. Anyway.
now.
So what are you filming?
Like a little outfit haul for dogs.
A tady máš čokoládový croissant. Ano?
Ne. Já držím dietu.
Žádnou dietu.
I'm originally from Czech Republic, and I moved here when I was around 7 years old. My mom and I lived in a very small apartment, so we've always been close, and she's always been overprotective of me.
Oh, like really missing the time when you live so close to me. Maybe.
Mom,
So I always like when they give us at least something to hold on to regarding the past and where these people come from. So let's just highlight what she just said. Her and her mom immigrated from the Czech Republic to the United States when she was a young child. And she said that it was just her and her mom was very overprotective. We're unsure exactly what that means, but that does give us some data to go off of when we're trying to build an hypothesis as to why people act the way that they do.
live like an hour and 10 minutes away.
Well, I just really wish you would be closer. So that's all. Maybe someday.
You can't always get what you want, Mom. Growing up, I had a hard time fitting in because I didn't speak English for the first year and a half or so, and kids in school did not like me. They thought I was the weird, quiet girl.
So don't underestimate the trauma that is for many children. She just said that she couldn't speak English, which makes sense, that she was ostracized, which, is unfortunate. At the very least, even the language barrier would make her feel distant and ostracized and strange. And we often will underestimate the effect that can have on kids. Now, for some kids, it's not that big of a deal, but I've talked with so many people about some of their primary traumas being just this: moving to a new area where they don't know people, moving to another country where they can't speak the language. And kids are just expected to just fit in. They're just, just throw them in a class, they'll figure it out, without thinking about the emotional toll that it will take on a child to feel different than, to feel ostracized. To just imagine you're sitting in class, and I've heard this told to me by clients, that you're sitting in a class and you don't understand the teacher, you don't understand the kids, you can't read anything, you're just completely lost. She looks like maybe she's 10 years old, 8 years old or something. You have no idea what's happening. If you need something, you can't communicate that. You're just shoved into a school, your mom drives off, and you're completely alone. That's hard even when you speak the language, let alone when you don't. And that can have a huge toll on one's personality. So let's add that data point as we move forward when we observe Stephanie's behavior.
I just always felt like I was different from the other kids. But years later, when I made a YouTube channel and started uploading videos, people would relate to my stories, and I really stopped feeling so alone.
Okay, so a little bit more data there that she felt she has probably a schema of feeling alone and being left out, which is understandable given her experiences as a child. And then when she went to YouTube, so total speculation. Now I'm someone who goes to YouTube, so this could apply to me. But when you feel alone, you might look for a number of different venues so that you can feel like you have a tribe, like you have a group of people, like you have a clique or you belong. And this is a common schema that not everyone has, but a lot of people do, where they walk around in a frequent state of feeling like they're being ostracized, like they're not like they don't belong, and they're always looking for something to belong to. And for her, she maybe experimented with a lot of different things and started doing YouTube, and actually felt in that moment like, okay, I belong here. This is good. So I'm glad that she sought a functional, healthy way to belong. It sounds like she did, which is good. However, we also want to know how that schema, if it does show up in the future, whether or not it has any bad effects as well. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. And as I always say in all these videos, everything I'm saying is speculative. I have no idea who Stephanie is really. I'd have to talk with her for many sessions to verify hypotheses. So everything I'm saying is just, I'm just hypothesizing. I'm speculating. And as always, subscribe, hit the bell below if you can, hit the like button, comment below, let me know what you think. I'm always curious what you think and have conversations with each other. Be nice to each other, please. And become a patron on Patreon. That's how I really know you like what I'm doing. And also subscribe to the podcast. If for some of you, you just know me through YouTube, I actually have been doing a podcast for 12 years, and I have over 1,000 episodes where I talk about things like I do in these.
I think the feeling of isolation from when I moved from the Czech Republic to the United States has a little bit to do with the way I am today. It's still pretty hard for me to open up to people, especially when getting into relationships.
Okay, some more data points. She's saying that because of those traumas, and this is good self-awareness for her, because of those traumas, it's hard for her to open up to people because she's worried that she's going to be bullied or rejected or something like that. And so that's the conundrum of the person who has a schema of lack of belonging, is they want to belong, but they're afraid to seek belonging because they're afraid of being rejected. And when you're afraid of being rejected sufficiently or excessively, it leads you to refrain from actually opportunities to belong. And so you would shy away and thus not be able to belong. And so she's talking about that. So I'm guessing that will play out as we watch this show further.
I've been hurt so many times in the past, but I've recently met someone online and everything changed.
Total speculation for her and a lot of the people that are on the show. One of the questions that I always have is, what was it about the online dating matching up with someone very far away that was appealing over meeting someone in your own town? There's a lot of ways, especially for young people, there's a lot of ways you can meet people. With Tinder, with other dating apps and other venues, just going out to a bar or something. There's just so many different ways you can meet people. Now, I know it's hard, and I know it's not just like, super easy for everyone. But the question that I have sometimes is, what is it about these people, and what is it about her that made her want? Because I know enough about this story to know that she finds someone online in Australia. So why would you do that? Because people out there, just think about yourself. If you're single and you're trying to date around, and let's say you did meet someone halfway across the world, would you be that excited about dating them? Because you're just like, this is going to be really difficult to date you. Even if we do have a connection, it's just sort of like, this isn't worth it. There's too many barriers to pursue to see whether or not we're going to be compatible. Because most people understand that it takes a while to get to know whether or not you're compatible, and the amount of investment you would have to, money and time and energy you would have to put into a relationship just to find if you were compatible with someone that lived across the world. Whereas if you lived in the same town, you could have that experimentation very easily. So you just have to wonder about what schemas are at play, or traumas or experiences or fears are involved when someone decides to do that over meeting someone in their own town. maybe it has to do with her belonging schema. That maybe for her, total speculation just based on the very little bit that we've been given, that she believes that to meet people in her own town, she believes, well, I'm going to get rejected. Maybe even she thinks Americans will reject her because when she came to the United States, she was initially, at least probably feeling very rejected by her peers. And so maybe she has a schema about her, her other Americans that live around her. Just speculation. I would have to ask her, and there's probably more depth to that, even if that was potentially even close to the mark. But just speculating.
I'm in love with somebody, and that somebody is a girl. Erika is this amazing, fun, quirky, gorgeous, hilarious woman who lives in the outback of Australia.
Hi, cutie. I miss you.
She's 24 years old. She's a photographer, and we are both bisexual.
She just Snapchatted me. Your girl's running off 2 hours sleep and a whole lot of iced coffee.
So I think it's fantastic that they're having bisexual people on the show. That's wonderful. I feel like they should have more of that sort of thing. Because one includes, we want to include, we don't want to exclude anyone from these kinds of things. And also, a lot of people watch this show, and a lot of people have bigoted ideas or stereotypical ideas or wrong-headed ideas about people, particularly bisexual people, and hopefully this show will humanize. Now, I wonder if this is a train wreck of a relationship which won't represent bisexual people that well. I don't know. Let's find out.
I know. I wish, it would not be going. I'm nervous anytime you travel.
My family thinks that I'm filming a TV show about my illness. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with a very severe disorder called aplastic anemia, which means complete failure of the bone marrow. For months, I needed blood transfusions every other day in order to stay alive. And I'll never be 100% healthy.
So that's another potential trauma for her. She's not exhibiting those feelings, but I wouldn't be surprised if for her this was a very scary situation and that there are lasting emotional effects from that. Lots of different things could be possible. One could just be a constant buzz of anxiety of losing your life or getting ill again. The experience of being in the hospital and having one of the things that we often don't acknowledge is for some people, when you go to the doctor, when you go to the hospital and you have a lot of procedures, even if you're asking for these things, it can be very, very traumatic for people to have needles stuck in you and, tubes and all sorts of things that can happen. It's an invasion on your body. Now, we tend to look at, say someone mugs you on the street and they punch you in the face and they stab you with a knife or something. We tend to look at that. Well, obviously that's traumatic because that person is invading your space. They're hurting you. They're stabbing you. There's blood. But somehow when we talk about the hospital, it's like, well, that's the hospital. You're supposed to have those things. And how could that be traumatic? You're actually getting care from people. Well, for some people, not everyone, of course, but for some people, that can actually be a very traumatic experience, particularly the younger you are, I find. Well, I won't say that. What I will say is I've actually treated people who were young and had a lot of procedures. Say they were 5 and they had a heart problem and they had like 20 surgeries to work on their heart from the age of 5 to the age of 10. Even though you do your best as a parent to explain to your kid what's happening, it's hard for them to go into it feeling very good about what's happening. She's older in this, so maybe it was easier for her, but I just want to highlight that that's another data point as we move forward.
Bacteria that are safe for other people are really dangerous to me. Even something like a common cold can kill me. So traveling can be very dangerous because I'm always at risk for infection.
So this is interesting because obviously this was filmed before coronavirus. Now I think a lot more people might be able to relate to her. That I'm guessing that she has to be very careful about washing her hands and this kind of thing. And she lives in a world back then where very few people really did that sort of thing. Now, everyone is supposed to be doing that sort of thing. And so I wonder if for her now, she is like, oh, welcome to my world.
I don't know. I just want to go there, I guess. And then, you know, if she checks out and then maybe afterwards she can come here. I'm really afraid to come out to my mom during dinner because I know it's going to hurt her. I don't want her to start crying. I don't want her to deny my feelings.
I'm gonna be just very worried.
I know. I know.
So we've seen other interactions between parents and adult children on this show that are what I would deem to be unfortunate. In this instance, it seems to be not problematic in that the mom is, you know, she has a lot of scowling and this kind of thing, which is interesting. But at a certain point, she just says, you know what, I'm just really scared for you. And then Stephanie is just like, yeah, I know you're scared for me, but I've taken care of everything. And that's pretty healthy. Mom is just like, I'm scared. And kid is like, I know, and I hear you. And that's usually a good place to be.
I think that coming out to your parents is a really big moment. I just need to feel ready. And I didn't feel ready tonight.
The other thing I will say is that the mom has a lot of eye rolling and a lot of really palpable disapproval. And Stephanie seems to be taking it pretty well. So there's that. But you have to wonder, what was that the mom's demeanor throughout her life with Stephanie? Because that's going to take a toll. If your parent is very frequently rolling her eyes, oh my God, you're just so exasperating. You know, that kind of behavior it's going to get under your skin. Who knows? But again, it's just another data point. All right, well, that does it for another episode of Psychology in Seattle. Thanks for joining me out there, and please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.